I'm Dwayne Regretsky, and you're watching You Want It, You Got It podcast with Russ Attitude and Eric Seven.
What's going on? Today I got Halibut Head from Sacramento,
Yes, sir.
and I can't read that.
So you
but
want?
I
You
can.
got
I can read. That's pretty rad. Okay, rock
Hell yeah.
on.
Nice.
All right. So who's gonna eat that banana?
That's my banana. It's
Yeah,
my emotional
yeah.
support banana.
Now, if you leave a banana in a room for too long, it might just turn on you.
Oh, yeah.
He likes those. He likes drawing on it because the ink from the Sharpie bleeds in through the peel, and so he gets a little high when he eats the banana.
It's quite nice.
Sharpie?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, guys.
Gotta
So,
do it.
so what's up, dudes? How y'all doing today?
Good.
Mad chilling.
Trying to stay cool in the hot Sacramento sun, but
Yeah.
like we were talking about earlier, it's actually not that bad. So just hanging out. We usually do band practice on Wednesdays, and so you're kind of seeing what that looks like in this tiny rehearsal space. So.
Yeah. I mean that's all you guys have. Right where you guys are at is the rehearsal space.
Yep.
That-
And we have to play our guitars like this because we don't have any horizontal room.
You're sitting on
Yeah.
top of the drum set right now.
So now, I found you guys on the interweb on Instagram, as I find a lot of these bands I've been finding lately from the Bay Area and Sacramento and all over California.
Mhm.
I found you guys because one, and I'm sure you guys have heard it, maybe not, maybe never before, but when I first heard your sound, it reminded me of a band that you may never heard of before, but it's a band called Green Day. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yes.
You remind me so
Underground.
much. I mean, huh?
They're underground.
Yeah. They might be big one day. you
Yeah,
know?
maybe.
But no, and then I went back and I listened to a lot of your stuff, and I really enjoyed everything you did, and everything I've seen about you guys. And then I see this cover you guys do, and it's crazy that you're going to be doing that comes out Friday, correct?
Yeah, this like a couple days. Yeah. Yeah, or like
So-
Thursday at 9 p.m. because of the East Coast or whatever. So yeah.
See, I'm that guy who will wait until like before I go to bed and be like, all right, what came out today? And I'll listen to what I can before I go to sleep. And then because it's cool that way, because for me it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you Dame put out this compilation, is that correct?
Yeah. So I was kind of approached. So our good friend Griffin, who's in a band called Checked Out, he sort of like compiled all these bands. Like a lot of them I now have met through Griffin. But he went to Cameron from Adalemon and was like, hey, let's, put this comp record together. And Cameron's a studio guy. And so, his sort of part in it was mastering everything to, fit together and all that. Well, then Cameron called me one day. And, he knows that I've been trying to do this, DIY label 222 Records for a while. Eventually it'll be a storefront in Sacramento. He knows I've been working on that. And he's like, well, you want to just like put the 222 name on it. And like, it can be the first, kind of real release of the record label. And, said yes immediately and then just went all in and trying to put it together. And we've got 12 great bands. Halibut Head's on there and Adelemon's on there. And then just, a bunch of really sick Northern California and Southern California bands. And then, it's just 12 banging songs from these DIY California bands.
Now, are they all covers or are they all like originals as well?
So there's only 2 covers.
Okay.
So 10 originals, and then the Halibut Head song is the Dramarama cover, and the Adelemon song is the 100 Gex cover that we did last year.
And that's out currently, right?
And that's out currently. And then there's a few other bands that their songs that are on the record are also out currently, but they're a different like mix. Because Cameron kind of redid everything with these 12 songs, and so any duplicates that are out on streaming, you'll have the version that the band might have already had out with their artwork, but then you'll see the compilation artwork as another release. So yeah.
I spoke with Cameron about a month or so back.
Mhm.
solid dude. And I mentioned you actually. I was like, "There's somebody in Outer Limit that is starting a label or something," and he was like, "Yeah." You know, he mentioned you,
Right
and
on.
so that's cool, man. And this will come out on Friday. Now, is this going to be uh just digitally, or you have vinyl? Do you have CDs? What do you got?
So all of the above. We are doing
Yes.
the digital
Yes.
release on Friday, and then the original plan was the records were going to be pressed by this weekend. Also, some delays came up as they usually do, and so we're waiting on the vinyl. Probably middle August is when we'll have vinyl in hand, and then around like early August I put in the CD order like a week ago. And so that order is going. So probably early August for those as well. But yeah, so bands will get, vinyl records and CDs to sell at their shows. And the 222 website will have vinyl and CDs on there as well for order. And then you can just stream it all day long on whatever you listen to. It'll be on there too.
Hell yeah, man! All streaming platforms, because I know there's some boycotting going around.
There's some controversy. I actually haven't even really looked into all that, but I know I have a friend of mine, their band, they are pulling all their stuff from Spotify. But I haven't looked into it as much. I haven't really kind of made the sort of started the thought process of that. I just don't know much about it. So I've kind of stayed over here with that controversy. I want to look into it, but sometimes it's unfortunately a necessary evil. So you kind of take things like that with a grain of salt. Not very punk rock of me to have that feeling, but it's 2025 with music streaming and all that. It's just a different beast. Sometimes it's not as hard to just pull your discography from something that the general population uses. So
for sure, and I think me myself, like I've been using Spotify since before it was like a subscription, when it was first started out, when it was free.
Yeah.
And I'm an Apple user, but I don't even use Apple Music. I still use Spotify myself, and I understand. I get it. I get it on both sides, But I do like how a lot of more bands these days are actually trying to go with the Bandcamp route, which is cool, But then you got to realize, is people going to still buy it? Because you can still stream it on Bandcamp for free,
Right.
I think only a few. Someone said the other day, I saw a post, and I don't know if this is true, but you can only stream it like a couple times, and then they ask you to pay for it or something.
Yeah, I don't know much about Bandcamp either. I haven't. We have like some stuff, like when the band was starting, put up some old like demos and like home recordings and stuff. But I know a lot of bands are really, really good at the Bandcamp thing, and they're doing like the Bandcamp Fridays and things like that. But I don't. Is there like a Bandcamp like app that people like? I always thought it on the computer you have Bandcamp, but do people stream on their phones and like?
Yeah, there's an app, which is cool because you can stream on the app, and when your screen goes dark, it still plays, which I like that, because I know a lot of people that use Apple YouTube.
Yeah,
and you got to keep YouTube open the whole time and drain your battery, and it's like, dude, that's pretty cool that they do that. So yeah, there is an app for artists and for users.
Okay.
So
YouTube is incredible. I've been paying for YouTube for longer than I could remember at this point.
Yeah.
As soon as they rolled out YouTube Premium, which is basically them taking all these features we used to have for free and turning it into that, it kind of changed the way I've discovered music. And I also use Apple Music, because I think Spotify is the devil. But
I got you.
Besides the point, though, there's a certain way people find music now just through Spotify and streaming like singles and all of that. Whereas when you're on this like trained YouTube algorithm that you get with Premium, you somehow go against the grain and find stuff that you'll never ever find pitched at you from these other streaming platforms. And so for that, I'll always mention YouTube as like the saving grace of music right now, if you give them the time of day.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe with Apple Music. I stopped using Spotify, several years ago because I just prefer the Apple interface, the user stuff. I'm just used to seeing that. And when Apple Music kind of first came out, I didn't like it, but it seems to be okay and a little bit better for my mind now. But the one thing is their algorithms suck. Even within your own like playlists, it'll just feed you the same songs. I have one playlist it's called All My Faves, and it's literally anything, any genre, any artist, any band, just any song that I like. It's one big, huge, like 24-hour playlist. But it's just, when I like go into the car or I play it at home, it's the same songs every time. And I know there's some deep cut in there that I haven't heard in weeks, and I'll have to go fish it out.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, I totally forgot I added this to the playlist because Apple Music won't feed it to me ever. So
do you shuffle your playlist, or do you start from the beginning?
Yeah. Every time I just click shuffle,
Yeah.
and it shuffles the same like 50 songs, and there's like a million songs in that playlist. So
this is the reason I reverted to driving a 1999 Nissan Frontier with a CD player.
yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I got a whole wall full of CDs and cassettes over here, and I still fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? You were saying about I don't know what I was going to say because I just messed up what I was going to say. We're talking about playlists and shit, and I can't remember. Oh, here, this one. When I hear a playlist sometimes, because I got plenty of playlists on my phone I listen to. But if I listen to a playlist on shuffle that I've made, I'll hear a song, and then I'm like, oh, I know it's coming up. It's not the album. So then I got to stop. Then I go to the album, and I got to listen to the whole album in entirety, you know?
So what I like to do is if on the playlist, it pops up a song, like one of my favorite back-to-back songs, it's I can't remember the song before it, but on the Nimrod Green Day record.
Yep.
No, it's
Jaded.
Yeah.
For the sake of the
Yeah.
example, we use Brain Stew Jaded. So if you get to Brain Stew and you're like, well, I want to hear Jaded after that, what I do is I go onto and I turn off shuffle, and so it'll then play the consecutive song.
Yep.
And then once it's playing that song, I push shuffle back on. And
Okay, all right.
That's how I like to do
Good
it.
old Apple
But
hacks.
there's a song that leads into another song called Hashinka on Nimrod.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like that the transition to it, the first song stops so abruptly that it gives me like a mini stroke every time. So I have to play Hashinka after it so that the transition to the next song, it's like perfect, you know?
I could never say that name, and I still can't say it. But
Hashinka?
I can never say it.
Apparently it's some chick's name that.
Yeah, it's a chick's name that's the crazy part. But it's a great fucking song. It's a great song.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this today because, you know, as most kids we are Green Day fans. I was listening today because I was trying to get in the mood, but I feel like you guys could do a great cover of Paper Lanterns.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
You know, because I could, just from hearing what you guys have done already with your originals, I'm like, man, you guys could fucking rock that cover.
Yeah.
Real fucking good.
That's a good song. We sort of do have an unspoken rule, or I guess very spoken because we talked about it. But we don't really cover Green Day just because we are sort of already covering Green Day with a lot of the songs that I write. Unfortunately, I've been listening to that band since I was 8 years old and just haven't stopped. And I'm a huge Green Day collector, just, you know, not only just the actual physical music, but just a bunch of just random gadgets and gizmos. And so that's sort of just been kind of my life for so long that when I write a song, as much as I can try to do something else, I've been somewhat successful with that sometimes, but it usually just kind of circles back into that general feeling of the East Bay punk rock from the early 90s. And so we joke around with it, and we don't really play Green, at least not in public. Like we'll play them in the space.
We broke that rule.
Well,
a couple times there,
we
buddy.
teased the beginning of When I Come Around before we played the Dramarama cover. We've been doing that every show as we changed like a cover song that we're gonna do. So like the last show we teased Rush's Limelight.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tom Sawyer. We teased Tom Sawyer and you get everybody singing along, and then it stops abruptly, and then you start the Dramarama cover.
Bro, didn't you do like a fucking like Pinhead Gunpowder cover?
Oh yeah, and then when we played San Francisco, I played what song was that? Life During Wartime.
Yeah,
I teased that one just because it was Bay Area, and I knew there was one person in the crowd that would absolutely love it, and I did it for him. So
shout out Baby Huey, by the way.
Yeah,
I will say this: I think I like, and there's not much difference, but there is a difference. I like the Welcome to Paradise off Kerplunk better than the Dookie version.
Yeah. That's a
But
interesting debate. Yeah.
yeah, and obviously Kerplunk is my favorite Green Day record of all time. I got a huge fucking poster framed in my living room. See, yeah, I'm getting that. Well, I'm gonna get that one day on my forearm. I saved the space for it because I will get that one day. It's a great record, man. I mean, really one of my close friends, she's actually a Green Day stylist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and now she's fucking like going to Mexico with Trey and his wife and all that shit. They're like, but it started out with us like me and her and the homies. We out skating and shit and jamming Green Day and stuff, and like we'd always have so much connection with the band.
Yeah.
And then she joined the Coast Guard, and when she got out of the Coast Guard and joined the reserves, her friend was like, "Hey, I got this person who needs some help with the styling job. Would you be interested?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure," because she likes style. Yeah. And after she did it for a while, they go, "We got someone we want you to meet. This is gonna be your first client." And her first fucking client was Green Day in like early 2000, and she's been with them ever since.
Whoa. That's cool.
So everything you see them wearing, like in their photo shoots, she's done it on tour. And well, she does them, Offspring.
Yeah. Well, shit, she's influenced a lot of the things that I wear because of that. So that's pretty rad.
Yeah, I'll let her know too. I mean, hey, check out these dudes. She's rad. I'm gonna get her on the podcast one day. She's just so busy,
That joke, I'm not gonna say it.
Say it.
Say it. Oh shit! What about the Ellen hair, dude? Tell me about the Ellen hair. Did she do that too?
Oh no, she don't do the hair. She just does the clothing.
He's got that fucking Ellen hair right now.
Well, her hair is always super short and like down here.
I'm talking got, Ellen from 10 years ago.
He's got the big blonde poof right now. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
So, being from the Bay, obviously there's a fuck ton of fucking great bands from the 90s. Like that whole 90s era of punk is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Besides Green Day, who were some of the bands that you guys were like really fucking digging from that era?
From that era specifically, a lot of like the lesser known, like 15, Crimp Shrine,
great.
Mr. T Experience,
yeah,
Monsula, of course, Rancid, Operation Ivy, Blatz, Pansy Division, Tilt, just all those Gilman bands, like it's one of my things I'm so grateful for Green Day is because they just opened up a whole like sort of rabbit hole of East Bay punk rock for me personally. Like it was listening to them and I was like, well, I see that, his guitar has a fucking like Tilt sticker on it. What is Tilt? And then then I find that band and then it's like, oh, I find out that one member of this band was in that band. Like, like how I found 15 was because I was listening to Crimp Shrine and then Jeff Ott went on to go do 15. And I was like, well, let me listen to 15 now. And then now I have a 15 tattoo. So it's like, it's just such a really cool thing to dissect that whole Gilman East Bay scene, because it feels very similar to kind of what we're doing now, where it's like I'm in this band, but I'm also in Adelemon, and then someone from that used to be in Halibut Head then went on to go do this band, and so now we play shows with that band, and so it's cool to be living sort of the community aspect of everything because of what like that community was and how that's inspired us now 35 years later.
And I like how you said what you just said, like you saw a sticker on Billy's guitar and you're like, oh fuck, who's that? Let me check it out. It's kind of like what I would do back in the fucking 80s and 90s, like I would see like a band wearing the shirt or see the magazine, you're like, oh, they're talking about this band, or and it's just like it's cool that you like it's like the old school style. You're still doing that, It's really rad.
Right on that. Like I don't know if you know the band Sadis. Area. Yeah, I found out about them because I was watching like an old VHS tape of Cannibal Corpse recording one of their albums in the studio, and Alex Webster had a Sadist sticker in the middle of his P bass, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Who's that? And that's how I found out like Steve DiGiorgio was, the greatest bass player of all time. He's in like Death and stuff like that, it's finding out those little tidbits there. And I come from a very different school of music than old Damo over here with like East Bay punk and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I'll have those same things where you find something the old school way, dude.
One thing about the Bay, great fucking punk, and then the 80s thrash scene was phenomenal. Like there's the Bay has even with the fucking hip hop. I mean, Bay Area busts out some good shit. And then in the 70s, the funk.
Yep.
It's like the Bay has spawned some great fucking music out there,
Absolutely.
So let's talk about you guys, the band.
Yeah.
How long y'all been around?
Halibut Head has existed, I think, for like 5 years. I think I started it sort of at the I say tail end, but sort of like the end of 2020. So like I was going to say tail end of COVID, but COVID's still a fucking thing. But yeah, it was during the pandemic, I moved from Southern California up here to Davis and moved in with my current fiance, and was just didn't like have work or anything, and was sort of doing school remotely because of the pandemic. And I was just bored out of my mind. And I had given up playing guitar for probably a decade at that point, and was just doing all these other musical things with, drum corps and DCI and all that stuff, if anybody knows what that even is. But when that was all over, and I was sort of starting my life, I was just so bored during the pandemic that I just went to a local pawn shop and bought a Stratocaster, just like how I did when I was 10 years old. And then at that point, I never really tried writing songs when I was a kid. I would just play Green Day songs or whatever other songs that my 8th grade band was covering. But then I was like, you know what, I got some ideas and I want to write some stuff. So I sort of thought about starting a band at that time, and I had some of these songs written. And so it sort of started in Davis at the end of 2020. So yeah, I guess, roughly 5 years, but the current iteration that you see here with Chase and Kane, we have been a 3-piece together for a little over a year now.
A year and a half.
I think we're at, you and I probably a year and a half. We started jamming together without a drummer, and then we found Kane probably spring of last year, and then played our first show together in June of last year. So roughly, a little over a year or so.
A lot of sweaty memories from Kane's family's garage.
Oh yeah.
Hey, those are some good practices though.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some stuff.
I know that pretty well. How did y'all meet?
So when Halibut Head sort of turned into just being me for a brief period of time, I had made a flyer that I shared with Lee with Sacramento punk shows to share out on social media. And it was like hey, this band called Halibut Head is looking for a bass player and a drummer. This is what we sound like. And it listed all those bands that we were just talking about. And was just like, hit me up on Instagram if you're down to jam. And Chase had probably pretty recently moved from East Bay.
It was February at that point, and I had just moved to Sac in December of 23. So it was right in that like boom, boom, boom kind of amount of time, just figuring out my shit out here.
Yeah, and I think you just hit me up on Instagram.
I just hit him up on Instagram. Literally just saw the Lee's ad, and I was like, oh shit, like that's just a repost from this. Like that's what he does. Okay.
Yeah.
And brought Dame over to my place, and we jammed.
Yeah, we started jamming in a little shed, and then started looking for a drummer and jammed with a few guys. Didn't really work out, for whatever reason. You know how it goes. Then there was somebody that had reached out to the Halibut Head Instagram that said, hey, my friend is a drummer. Here's his number. You should get in contact with him. Because Kane didn't have social media. He's barely on social media. He started an Instagram just actually recently, like only probably 6 or 8 months ago, just to repost our flyers, but he still doesn't use it much. But
basically he posts his cat,
Yeah, he never was gonna see the Halibut Head needs a drummer flyer. And then but it was one of his friends had reached out, and she gave me his number, and so we got in contact, and he was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. Here's a video of me playing an Avenged Sevenfold cover. And then when we watched that, we were like, oh, here we go. Because everything else before that, it was either, previous drummers had like a different style that we were looking for, or they had just a different approach than what we were looking for. But for the first time, we had seen this video of Kane, and we're like, there we go. Like, that's, someone that we can get in a room together and start writing some songs, and they're going to sound killer. So that's how that whole thing came about.
Hell
I think
yeah.
band for like 6 or 8 weeks, and then we played our first show together.
Not even that.
Not even that.
So like basically we made him official with like, text messages and stuff. We went and did like I think I went to his place like first before you even like, we all like met as a group. I went to his place and like jammed with them. It was just like, yo, like let's get our shit together.
That's right, yeah.
And then we all met at that spot on Del Paso to like do a photo shoot and like have a practice and kind of all meet, and like kind of vibe like that. So it was like the quickest relationship ever. We were just like boom, 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 like get to it as quick as possible. And
it's hard to even like recount the experiences
it was like
because
month,
it just felt like we just started jamming, and then that was the band, and then that was it. Like there was no like, well, we met like this and we met like that. And it's just like, it sort of feels like that this has just been the band for as long as I can remember.
And then Empty is a fucking blur at this point, how that all came together, because we already had that together before the first show, which was like July something.
Yeah. So this lineup had existed for only a few weeks, and then we put out a single together, which was another cover of an old Camarillo band called Stole Your Woman that I grew up going to their shows. But yeah, that's kind of how it all came about.
Hell yeah, man! And you guys have a good connection now. So obviously, this is going to be what you're running with for now, unless y'all
we
fight it out.
Yeah, there's no feeling of anything of like this is it. This is Halibut Head as far as I know for the rest of all of our lives.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
So is there any tours or anything you guys are going to plan out?
So we're trying to do a tour like early next year. I'm going on an Out of Lemon tour in November. And Halibut Head is releasing an EP at the end of November, kind of right when I get back from that. And so we kind of want to put that out and have those songs out, for a little bit of time. And then we'll put something together probably like January or February. And it'll just be like a nice little 7-day thing, couple states, West Coast mostly, a little bit inland maybe.
Well,
regarding this EP, I use the term taking a calendar year for stuff to happen. It's taken well over a calendar year for this EP to happen full and through, just like beginning to end. It's been a journey.
Yeah. They're good songs, so we're kind of taking our time with them and making sure that they're solid. And that's what we're using this Dramarama cover as, is sort of like a taster. Because the release of this song is just miles ahead of what we just did together, even as the same 3 EPs with the song called Empty that we did last summer. And then just even that is miles ahead of anything else Halibut Head has done ever. So it's it's just this exponential growth of just really good. Like, I'm singing better. I'm a little bit better at guitar. Chase has these bass ideas that just sort of like just make the song explode. And then Kane is just such a machine behind the drums and just comes up with these funky little things that just work for whatever reason. And then it just sounds so good.
Well, the cover sounds really fucking good, by the way.
Thank you.
What made you guys? I mean, first off, that song is just timeless. It fits any era it works in. Because you listen to that song, you're like, this song is from what, 82? What the fuck? No way.
Yeah, something like that, 85 maybe.
Yeah. So what made you decide to do this Dramarama cover?
I had gotten in the mood of picking random songs to do like as cover songs for like live sets. And we had picked I had actually wanted to cover Empty by Stole Your Woman for a really long time, even before I met Chase and Kane, because I grew up going to that band, that band's shows. And then they were sort of like the first punk band that I actually ever saw live down in Ventura. And we unfortunately lost one of the guitar players of that band, Poodle. And when that happened, when he passed away, we had just sort of started. And I was like, hey guys, I want to do this. We just, lost Poodle, and I want to dedicate the cover to him and all that. So we kind of whipped that together, and that sort of like put me on a path of like, well, what else can we cover that's maybe something that's not like either A, Green Day, or B, gonna sound like Green Day, or C, is in sort of a predictable sort of path. I kind of wanted to go this way and try something else. And so we had toyed around with actually a song called Sweet But Psycho, which is a pop song from, God, probably 8 years ago now.
She's sweet but a psycho.
Yeah.
I know you're talking. Yep.
Yeah, it's a really, really good song. And so I had sort of put an arrangement together that kept it, pretty chuggy and pretty punky. But the range of that one is just a little bit, that one's going to take some time, and that one didn't really pan out. But then
I feel bad for the drummer we auditioned with that song.
Oh yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, we tried it a couple times, and it was not good. So that one's on the back burner. Maybe at some point a Halibut Head Sweet But Psycho cover comes out.
Hey.
But sort of, I think I just, what? I was sitting on the toilet, and I went to Apple Music, and I think I just searched like new wave or like 80s, like I don't know exactly what I searched, but I found some random 80s playlist, and then I think I had the song stuck in my head, like a little blip of it, but I didn't know what it was. And then when I sort of just at the same time found this 80s playlist, clicked on that song, and I go, oh, is that like I'll Give You Anything song? And I clicked on it and played it, and then all of a sudden these memories of my mom playing the song in her beat up Chevy Blazer when I was a kid, like popped. Like I had already known this song from when I was a kid. And, my mom was always listening to that style of music, and into the 90s, she was really into hair metal, but she was also really into some of the punk stuff. She's the one that gave me my first Green Day CD. Like she's she's the reason why I am who I am in a musical capacity, really. But since I had already known that song, I was like, oh dude, like that would be sick. But I realized that she listened to the Buck Cherry version of it, not the Dramarama version. So when
there's a Buck Cherry version?
Buck Cherry version that was on a movie soundtrack, I believe, that came out like early 2000s, I think. See,
that's what. So when I hear that song, I always think of like a 2000s, like a teen type of movie.
Yeah,
I heard that song in.
Yeah,
but I don't know. So
it was like
go ahead.
American Pie or some shit like that. It was like one of those movies, like whatever. But then I played the Buck Cherry version, and I was like, oh, we can totally do this, but we can like make it way better. Like we can maybe take the bridge somewhere crazy, and I added a guitar solo in there that I don't think any of those other versions even really have. Like you get to that bridge in that song and all those other versions, and it has that low part, and then you get back into the chorus. So we decided that we wanted to do a whole like vamp section, and we made the song 5 minutes for no reason. But yeah, and I think I brought it to the guys, and Kane was like, oh dude, I love the Buck Cherry version. But he also knew about the Buck Cherry version.
For the record, I did not know this song at all.
Yeah, he had
never heard
all right, cool.
song by any band ever. And I became an instant fan of Dramarama as a result of that.
For sure.
The whole little deeper and found a cover of the song by a band called Grey Days from back in the 90s. And Chester Bennington's first group before he was in Linkin Park. That version, by the way, kind of rules. But yeah, we got that vamp section, yo.
And it was just super. I mean, the song is like 4 chords the entire time. It doesn't change. It's what E, G, C, D, like the whole song, verse, chorus, bridge, everything. It's just like we were just like, can we just play these 4 chords and I'll learn the words, and then now we have a song.
It's a masterclass in dynamics.
Yeah, it's just and I love that song because of that, because it's somewhat, in its own right, the most punk rock song ever from that era, because it's 4 chords, and it can be a Ramones song, for God's sakes. Like it's so catchy and just easy to hold on to and know, and so it just worked out.
I it's funny because like before you guys, well, I mean, you guys were already doing it, but before I saw it online that you guys were doing this, and I heard like the single when you had the test press,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, I wanted to cover this song myself, you know. And then I heard it, I was like, because it's a great song. But I did the same thing a few weeks back. You know, every once in a while I'll find a band, and I'll just go down and listen to all their shit all day long, you know. And Dramarama, man, everything they have out is fucking rocking. Even the newer stuff is. I think they put a new album out like probably 2020, and it's just as good, you know.
Yeah, they're really good, and it made like all of like our parents like super stoked too, because you know, like when you're starting out and you're playing these shows, like it's a lot of the times it's your mom there in the crowd, and my parents had come up for a weekend, and we had a show that weekend, and I don't think I actually told them that we were covering that song. I think I waited to see what they would do in the crowd when we started playing it, and they lost their shit.
Hell yeah.
And so that's kind of what I really like to do is like we have the you know, the teen angst girl love songs, but then it's also there's one for the older people in the crowd that are just checking us out or because they're our parents and all that, and it created a variety for our crowd that I just have really come to enjoy, just because I get to see, you know, older people singing along with us to the song that they grew up listening to, but then we throw out some other song that the younger people can dig too, you know. So it's really fun to play, and it just felt like a no-brainer like the whole time.
Another cool part is like we always make it kind of a designated cover block in our sets.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll a lot of times tease another song in there and like really sell it, and then boom, right on to anything. And like nowadays, like people know that's gonna happen, and it's kind of fun that like some people get faked out and others like are ready for anything to happen as soon as we start playing a cover song. And it's just it's magical. It's a really fun vibe that we get.
We were on a little SoCal tour last year, and we played Ventura, where all my family is, and so they came out to the bar that we played, and we had teased that one song, got my first real six string. So we teased that one, and that perked their ears like immediately. So then they started singing it, but what we did was we stopped. They sang it was the summer of '69 line, and then I started anything, and so they were already here. And then when they heard anything start, they like jumped up, and so it was a really cool thing. It just gets everybody moving, and it just feels like no one's doing that song. Like, you know, we previous iteration of the band, we did Mr. Brightside for the longest time, and that got a lot of people moving. But it's also kind of a more relevant song. It's a wedding song that everyone is going to know, and that was great in its own right. But playing a song like anything and having that, it's just like, what? Like you didn't even think you were going to hear that song today. You forgot about that song entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's this band called the fucking Halibut Heads or whatever, and they're playing it and it sounds sick. And now I'm going to go listen to the song, and here's their version. Let me play this, and, you know, quietly pat myself on the back. I think it's the best version of the song that's ever existed. So
it's good. So you guys been doing this for a little while then, this cover?
Yeah, this cover we've been playing. I got at least probably a year. We probably put it together last summer, something like that.
Yeah.
I think I came home from the Ad Lemon tour, and then we started doing that one.
Yeah, because we were already like playing it like by the time we played Press Club for the first time and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know it was that we played it for the first time live at that Press Club show. Yeah. And that was what, November?
Oh, earlier than that.
October.
Yeah.
October. Yeah, so somewhere around there, about a year or so.
And just so we noticed, the Buck Cherry version was on the soundtrack for Road Trip with
Yeah. So
with,
there you go.
Tom Green.
It kills 5 minutes of the drive because there's a giant egotistical guitar solo in the middle. So
yeah, it's a good song, man. Like you were saying, you said you heard it, you're like, man, I know this from somewhere, you know, and it's crazy because like there's a lot of songs that you'll hear, and I'll hear myself, and I'll be singing the lyrics, and I'm like, how the fuck do I know this song? You know, it's just like, and then I think to myself, maybe when I was a kid on the weekend cleaning house and the parents were playing this shit on the radio, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite things is that sensory phenomenon of like you smell a certain smell or you hear a certain, you know, ditty that brings back like certain memories that are just deep in there that you didn't even know you had anymore. And that song does that for me is every time I hear it and every time I play it, it just brings me back to a time in my childhood that like I can think back fondly of. And I like going back and remembering those things. And so it just is a feel good song for us to play. And it clearly feels good for everyone else to hear. So
yeah, I can't remember the name of the song, but if I hear it, I'll know it. But every time I hear it, it brings me back to going to soccer practice because it was always on the radio on around the same time. And it would remind me of soccer practice. So every time I hear it, I picture myself in the car driving to soccer practice.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly. And that's such a random memory that you wouldn't even think to keep onto, but this song pulls it out. So that's pretty cool.
It does that, you know, the Offspring Smash album. Like I remember when that first came out, and every time I hear that album, and it's an album that I can listen to every fucking day if I wanted to, but it brings back all the memories from that era of when I was doing, you know, but music does that to you. Music reminds you of a lot of memories, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. Wrong. That's what it's kind of.
Listen to who?
So,
separate ways.
Hey man, the journey is amazing.
Hey, yes they are.
I mean, you can't go to a Giants game and not hear Journey.
Yeah.
You guys are A's fans, I bet, right?
I'm actually a huge Dodger fan.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think Chase likes baseball.
Oh, wait, because are you from
bandwagoner?
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's up here. Oh, well, I guess
I'm from the Bay Area. I used to go to the occasional like Giants event and things like that.
Yeah, you lived in Oakland for so long.
I'm not an A's fan. No.
So yeah, I grew up in Southern California.
I'm about to say you said SoCal. Well, see, now the A's are in Sacramento, but they're not even called the Sacramento A's. They're just called the Athletics.
Well, what's funny about that is the A's have been my like American League team for a number of years. Like I would always root for obviously the Dodgers, but then if the A's were playing, I'd want the A's to win, you know. And my dream is to see the A's and the Dodgers in the World Series. That would be fucking awesome. That probably won't happen in my lifetime based on how the A's are playing.
Sometimes I'm actually able to forget that Dame's a Dodger fan just a little bit. And I live in the state of bliss. And he starts talking about them really fondly, and I have to like kind of distance myself from the conversation.
But yeah, like last weekend I went to an A's game down the street, and then the next day I went to the Dodgers Giants game in San Francisco. So I'm fortunate to have those two teams, and one's really, really close to me. So
well, are you an A's fan because of Billy?
No, actually, my fiance's dad is an A's fan, and when I moved up here and we were hanging out with them a lot more, he would put the A's game on, and then I sort of realized that I didn't have like an American League team. I always hated the American League because of the Astros, but I never really I was like, well, is there anybody? And, you know, there's the Angels too. You can say like my dad still is somewhat an Angels fan, but he went through a big, you know, phase of being an Angels fan, and we'd go to Angels games when I was a kid. But, you know, I realized I never sort of had a team on that side. And I like rooting for people or for teams like as much as I can, you know? So like I moved up here and became a Sacramento Kings fan because that's also down the street from me and all that. And I just have recently become, you know, into sports. But yeah, just the A's were on. I was like, I want to root for somebody. I'm not just going to watch this game and just be indifferent about it. Like I want to feel like I'm on a side, you know? And so I picked the A's, and then of course, you know, Green Day being from East Bay, they're all A's fans, I guess. So,
well, I'm a family divided. You know what I'm saying? Like half my family are Giants fan, the other half are A's fans. And I got half my family are Niners fan, the other are Raiders fans. And I'm like, but look at that, guys. Both of your teams that you like, the Raiders and the A's, are both leaving you.
Yeah.
They're going to Vegas, you know?
Yeah,
but, you know.
That's hilarious. My mom actually grew up in Nevada, so she's a huge she's a huge Niner fan. But we recently got her to switch from the Giants to the Dodgers. We just told her, like, because she was living in like denial for so long, where she's like, I'm a Giants fan, but then would never watch Giants games and would always watch the Dodger game with us. And then would be like, yeah, when the Dodgers did something. So we're like, Mom, you're a Dodger fan, just accept it. And so finally she's admitted to being a Dodger fan. But yeah.
All my family in Nevada, they are all Raiders fans. All Raiders fans. I'm like,
yeah.
So when we go over there and they're all fucking black and silver. When I will say though, that logo is tough as shit. That's a tough logo.
Coolest logo, coolest color scheme. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes I want to be a Raiders fan just so I can wear the black and silver shit, but
or Hispanic.
Or but you're right. The LA Rams have been the team that I've kind of gravitated towards because my dad is a huge Rams fan, and he, when he was younger, was the first time that they were in LA. So he's been a Rams fan since then. So then they moved to St. Louis, but he remained a Rams fan. And then when they came back to LA is kind of when I started paying attention a little bit more. So it just kind of felt natural to be like, yeah, LA Dodgers, LA Rams and all that. But my grandma's a Raiders fan because the Bay Area and all that, with my mom up here and all that. So we're just a hodgepodge of bandwagoners, really. Yeah, that's all we are.
My parents moved down to Alabama, and they didn't watch college ball at all. But now they're all Roll Tide, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then we moved to Tennessee, and they're all about the Titans. And I get it, because Tennessee Titans came here in 2000. They were the Houston Oilers. They became the Titans. And now they're all Titans. I'm like, nah, bro. We're Niners till we die. You know what I'm saying? We switch it
out. Like, yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I mean, I'm happy for Nashville. We're getting sports teams. We got hockey in 2000. We got football in 2000. We might be getting an MLB team, which who knows, but it's cool. So enough about sports. No, I'm kidding. The name Halibut Head. Where did that come from?
I like this story.
Yeah.
So when kind of like I was talking about, getting the guitar from the pawn shop and just trying to mess around and think of whatever I was going to do. I started thinking about band names. The first name I actually sort of committed to, that some of these Halibut Head songs that we play, but what they were previously released under was a band name called Stripper Name. That was actually kind of the first like band name that I had picked. And then I kind of just, everyone was like, that's a shitty name. And I was like, you want to hear a shitty name? I'll come up with a shitty name. And so, me and my fiance had gotten into like cooking shows at one point, and we were just binge watching MasterChef. And, there was a particular season, there was a contestant who was a drummer from Florida. And, I think his name was Danny or something, or anyway, name doesn't matter. But the judges and like the show and the producers or whatever, they wanted them to rail into the fact that he was a musician. Every single chance they got, they tried to figure out some musical pun. They just reminded you that this guy is a drummer, basically. And so there was one challenge where they had to cook with some oddball ingredient. And so this drummer guy gets the head of a halibut. That's his ingredient that he's got to make work, right? And so when he did his dish, everybody was done and they went to the judging part of the show. They walked right up to him and they're like, all right, you had the Halibut Head. And then one of the judges was like, oh, that could be a cool band name, like Danny and the Halibut Heads or something like that. And then I heard that and I was like, I'm just going to steal that. I'm just going to take the Halibut Head part of it. And that's where it is. I stole it from Master Chef because Chef Ramsay's goated. But
hey, who would have known he's naming bands?
I know.
This is why to this day, the first thing you get on YouTube when you type in Halibut Head is not this band, but rather a clip of MasterChef from Gordon Ramsay's little bit there.
Or you'll just get competitive halibut fishing, things like that. There was actually for the longest time.
Yep, there it is.
There was some restaurant. There was some restaurant somewhere that was serving this dish, and it was a halibut dish. And everyone, like, for the band's Instagram kept getting tagged in this restaurant's post. So, like, for the longest time, like people were probably clicking on this band that says Halibut Head, and they're clicking on it and they're like, this is fucking band from Sacramento. What is this? But we were getting tagged in these like culinary things with this restaurant. It was so funny, but it's just like, I like it more so now because we're somewhat known in Sacramento. So there's less of a like, what, like when they hear it. And people have started to be like, that's such a cool name or whatever. The more you hear it, obviously everyone gets used to it and all that. Even the shittiest band names, become beloved. But at first it was like, oh yeah, what's your band name? And I would say Halibut Head, and they're like, halibut, like the fish. Halibut what? And I go, yeah, Halibut Head, like it. 2 words in the English dictionary that everybody knows. Just put them together for the first time ever in history, and it's a band. Like, so yeah.
I mean, anyway. Korn's the band name,
right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You know?
But they were cool because they spelled it with a K
and a backwards R.
So we knew that they were the shit. If the R is backwards, you're gonna die in that pit.
If any letter in your band name is backwards, you're pretty badass. You know, when I was in high school, I had I still got the list too in the same book of all these band names that I want to name my band, and one of the name of the bands was going to be called the Paraplegics.
Okay.
And it looked like somebody that couldn't. Anyway, I won't even get into it. But if I had the video, everybody in the band was going to have a different oddity to them. Like,
oh yeah,
the drummer was going to have no arms, and you know, stuff like that. And
well, definitely I still have that one from you, but
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But that's cool. I like that. I like that name.
Yeah, but
the names are always hard to come up with. Like when you want to like the something, like the Strokes. That's why we put the Heads, because it's always just like I like those the names, the Strokes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
even though Ramones aren't the Ramones, but everyone just says the Ramones, like the Flatliners.
That's exactly the effect you're going for on that. You add it to the mix, like after the fact.
But okay, Smashing Pumpkins, to me, that's how I say the name. It's the Smashing Pumpkins.
Are they the?
Yeah,
because Pumpkins. I just call them. Pumpkins.
Yeah, same. You know.
But, yeah.
I just call them Smash. No, I'm
Smash.
kidding. But so how would you if you alphabetize? How do you alphabetize the band? Do you alphabetize with the, or do you alphabetize it with the main name?
I'm thinking of my record collection right now.
That's what because I had the hardest time the other day. I was doing my CDs and I was like, fuck, but this band is actually the this and the that. Because you wouldn't put in like the Strokes, you wouldn't put them under Strokes, you put them under the Strokes.
I think I would do. I don't have records with bands.
This is just me for my vinyls. I'll go first by like genre.
It's vinyl.
That's crazy.
From there, like, you know, like because one bin is like all just like live records basically, so it's kind of easy, and then the other bin's like my mix of shit. I'll go first by that, and then from there it's like ABC within that, and there's no regard to those. No regard to those.
All of my
anything.
Because isn't the replacements the replacements?
Yeah.
I think they are in ours.
Okay.
I think they're next to like my Ramones records, things like that.
Well, see, for me, my Smashing Pumpkins are in Smashing. They're in the S. They're not in the.
Yeah. That's where mine
I think I put replacements in ours. They're like next to Rancid and shit like that. Yeah.
Well,
but if I have a compilation record from East Bay, the thing that ate Floyd or whatever, that's in T's, because it's also the thing. But I explicitly go, well, it's a comp record and it starts with the. I'm just gonna stick it in T's.
I do it by record label.
By record label.
Oh.
So all my fat records comps,
got records.
all my fat records. Oh, exactly. I have a fuck ton of fat records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Punk-orama is under P for Punk-orama.
Oh, my the last gang gang record is in L. Yeah. So I do the first like proper name part.
Yeah. Well, if you go to a library, it's the name apostrophe the.
Yeah, they'll do. Yeah. Yeah.
My records and cassettes are all in chronological order.
Yeah.
What was that movie? That movie High Fidelity, when he put them in all by number or whatever, like the year it came out and the fucking month, and they're like, fuck all that.
I can't. How am I gonna find any record if I gotta remember the
Like, fuck,
catalog.
what day did it come out?
Yeah, right.
Can't find it. Yeah.
That's too much.
Dude, how did
This-
Muse Syndicate or like the KDVS like have that organized? We went to this other this radio show that had like the largest like vinyl collection.
They had the
like,
largest
in the country.
physical media collection in the country, I think.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
as far as like radio stations go,
It's pretty gnarly.
they still have like the largest one, and I think they did everything just normal like letters.
It's alphabetical.
Like,
so
yeah,
like
just
all
alphabetical.
genres just
It was
boom.
just mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I worked at a radio station in Monterey, when the new singles would come out, they had, because it was back then everything was CDs, so they had this little trays that you put in, but
Yeah.
and then you have a piece of paper, but it would give you it all had numbers, like, all right, number 487, that's Aerosmith's blah blah blah. So you go and look for 487, pull that out, and then you know, because they always change, because radio changes all the time.
Right.
It'd be hard as fuck to keep them alphabetized, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But now everything is all digital now. It's just like bloop.
Yeah.
Which really threw me off. I don't know how it is out there, but here, the radio station locally, it's all pre-recorded for the most part, except for like the lunch hour.
Yeah.
But like, I was listening to like a drive home show one time, and then I look over, and the fucking host is sitting at the bar drinking a fucking beer, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
then I
so-
realized radio is gone.
When we did like all the KDVS stuff, like independent college radio, they for the most part are all like still like live DJs and live segments and things like that. Like, it's funny, like we would go do one segment with one host, and then would have that certain amount of time, and then when it ended, it was always like you can see them like, okay, well, I'll sit down when you get up, and like it, you know, they did that transition thing, and it was really cool. But like 1077 The Bone, I think they're all for the most part pre-recorded. I know Baby Huey does some live stuff.
Yeah,
every once in a
they'll
while.
like cut in with live stuff
But
here and there.
they premiered our song, the Dramarama song, last Saturday at 9:00, and I knew that the host that was doing it was going to the same show that I was going to. We were going to My Chemical Romance at Oracle Park, and I knew he was going to be there. So I kept asking, like, how is he gonna play our song at 9 p.m. when we're going to be watching My Chemical Romance?
Yeah.
And so he actually sent me a text when we got there, or at 9:00 when it was playing, of a screenshot of it playing, but he was a couple rows over there from me. And so that's when I realized, like, oh, you had this segment already pre-planned and the playlist already made, and it played at 9:00. It absolutely did do that. And he sent me a screenshot, and he's like, yeah, it did it. It premiered. And I was like, dude, yeah, what do you think of the show?
So funny. I want to ask you about that. How was that show?
Oh, that show is phenomenal. Like, so My Chemical Romance for me is not a band that like I really, really got into, but I think I've had Black Parade on CD when I was a kid, just like any like punk rock emo kid in middle school is going to have. And then, you know, I watched the music videos on MTV, but they were never like, I was already too focused on Green Day. So I didn't really get into My Chem. But I think that actually made the show more enjoyable for me, because I hadn't seen them live, B, haven't even just really listened to them other than in passing, or like my fiance owns a couple of My Chemical Romance records, and she plays them every once in a while. But just being there and like having that clean, like I was a blank canvas for them just to fucking throw their shit on, and they, by God, threw their shit on me. Like, that show was just like, it had me the whole time. And I was actually really excited to see 100 Gex open up, because we had that song with Adalemon, that 100 Gex cover. So hearing that live from the original artist was insane. And that whole night was just, the My Chemical Romance show, they are really doing something awesome. And there's a lot of crowd interaction and things like that. And they do this really cool thing. I'm going to spoil it. So if anybody is listening to this or watching this and wants to go to a show, maybe plug your ears. But they did something that I thought was the most punk rock thing I've seen a band do in a while. They played their entire Black Parade record in its entirety on the big stage with the big spectacle and all the pyro and the interaction and the theater, all the theatrics of it all. When they finished that record, probably had like a 15-minute, 20-minute intermission of a cello. There's a cello player just playing, and everybody's buying merch, going to the bathroom, getting food, whatever. Then they come back out on like a 15 by 15 B stage in the center of the crowd.
Nice.
And they played all like their old shit on that B stage for like the last like hour and a half of the show. They were just in like this close quarters, like they were playing some hardcore show in a basement. And it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen a band do. And they're back into like their street clothes and they're using their old guitars from that era. And like, it was a blast. Such a good show.
Was that the show that they covered the Smashing Pumpkins?
They did cover the Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. He said something like, that song had like resonated with him. I think during the pandemic, he said, and then he as soon as he went, the world is I just lost it. I personally am not a fan of the Pumpkins. Okay. And when they opened up for Green Day, we actually went and did other shit during the Smashing Pumpkins set. I had no interest in seeing them. And so when he did that, it was like I felt like I couldn't escape the Pumpkins at Oracle Park because it was the same place, in another big tour, and I'm hearing the fucking Pumpkins. Wow. And I got a kick out of it, but they did a great job with that song. They sounded really, really good.
I think it was that show as well, because that's when I started seeing this. Apparently he got down, and there was a girl in the front, and he gave the girl his hand, and the girl kissed his hand, and they were giving and they're giving this girl shit for like invading his space, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like he
survived in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure. So I got to see Mike Kim in 2002 with this is a crazy lineup. It was with Under Oath and Brazil, but then I also saw them in 2003 with American Nightmare, Every Time I Die.
Wow.
And that was pretty insane. And then I saw them again.
That was before everything kind of blew up.
And then I saw them in 2004, and I was Taking Back Sunday, I think it was, opened up. So that was pretty cool.
Wow, sweet, cool.
Yeah, I have the flyers for one of those shows still, but it was cool. I mean, it's always cool to see bands, anytime, But I wish I would have seen Mike Kim on the last go around with 2022 when they first came back.
That first comeback tour, yeah.
Did they take out Turnstile on that one?
No, Turnstile would have been with Blink, I think.
Blink, that's it. Okay,
similar time. I don't remember who Mike Kim brought out for that one.
Oh, I'm trying to think who's.
It was somebody that you'd have been like, all right, cool. Let me see.
Yeah.
It was Turnstile.
Was it really?
It was Turnstile. Holy shit! And the Dilly Dally.
Interesting.
Is it Dilly Dally that fucking band that dresses up like the guy from Family Guy, the neighbor, the preacher guy, like Flanders?
Flanders? Oh, that's Simpsons, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. The Dilly
I don't
Dally?
know. I've never heard of that band.
I feel like it may have changed per like venue, because I seem to remember some other opener for like the Bay Area.
Mike Kim was.
You're right.
It's a different opener every show. Like we got 100 Gex, but then my boss is going to go see them in LA, and Wallows is going to open. Yeah. So they might have been doing that back then too. And Turnstile played that one.
It was kind of like Guns N' Roses when they were touring on this one of the tours they came back and done recently. But every city had a different opener. Like Nashville had Carrie Underwood open up.
Oh wow!
And the first time they came through, in 2017 or 2015, it was Chris Stapleton opened up. It was and then for Guns N' Roses, But Chris Stapleton, it was hilarious because he's like. Yeah, and Carrie Underwood. Here's the funny thing: is Carrie Underwood
will make sense, but
Roses.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about Carrie Underwood: she covered Guns N' Roses before she opened for when she opened for Guns N' Roses. She did "Sweet Child of Mine," and then they played "Sweet Child of Mine."
She played "Sweet Child of Mine" during her set while opening for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
That feels.
Well, Limp Bizkit did it from an opening for Metallica, but Limp Bizkit did it from opening for Metallica, where they played a song that wasn't played that night.
It wasn't in the set.
It was a set from the night before.
I think you get away with that. You're going to play Guns N' Roses' biggest song before they even come out. On
yeah.
Crazy. That's insane.
That is rough.
That's like if fucking we were like lucky enough to ever open for Green Day, and then we opened with American Idiot.
Yeah.
That would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just did a whole Green Day cover album, a cover set, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna
That
say
It's gonna be that anyway. Just
if we came out like for our next show and started playing 55 burgers, 55.
I know,
fries.
yeah. We have our friends band or our friends checked out. They have this song that's on the comp record called 55 Burgers, 55
yeah, I
Fries.
saw that.
And it's one of my favorite
It's so
songs
good.
that they've ever done. And I want to learn it and play it, but then that's like we play so many shows with them
Yeah.
that I can't like it would be funny. But
Well, what you do is
I
if
just
they
run up
open,
and sing it with them.
if they open, then you guys play it when you guys after.
Yeah,
that, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
We could do that.
That
That's pretty
that
funny.
Green Day, I saw that tour last year, and that was a great fucking tour.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed fucking the Linda Lindas
Oh,
and Rancid,
oh damn.
and it was Lars's birthday, also, so it kind of sucked because it was a
Yeah.
venue that I haven't been to yet. It's at the soccer field here in Nashville, and me
Oh,
and my
cool.
buddy have never been. So where it's at, it's in the middle of a neighborhood. So
Oh.
the parking was just fucking horrific. So,
Insane. Yeah.
but we got there right as Pumpkin started, and then of course we caught all of Green Day, which that fucking whole fucking set just fucking destroyed, man. It was so rad.
Crazy.
'Cause I felt like a little schoolgirl, man. I was fucking hoarse as fuck afterwards, singing every fucking song, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
So what's next for Halibut Head?
Well, like we've been talking about, this cover song comes out on Friday or Thursday at 9:00 on the West Coast. And we're gonna just promote the shit out of that, and hopefully everyone digs it. And then we've got some shows, you know, here and there this year. We're doing this San Francisco festival that is kind of like a DIY festival that this band called Stay Out is putting together.
Okay.
And we got invited to play that. And then we just booked a show at Gilman like last night.
Wow.
And so that's going to be really exciting. And then, you know, we've got a few Sacramento shows here and there. And then we're going to release this EP at the end of November called Rose and Thorn. It's going to be 4 songs that we've kind of had in the set now for a really long time, and we really enjoy playing them. And so, yeah, that comes out at the end of November, and we hope everyone likes that too. And then maybe a tour early next year in, you know, California, Nevada, Arizona, maybe Oregon, Washington, perhaps. So
I almost said November, but fuck, November's like 3 months away. You know,
I know,
it's like
yeah,
right on the corner, dude.
it's a bit, you know, it feels far, but also coming up. Like I keep thinking about it, like when we have to time, you know, pressing that record and, you know, getting the merch going, and then all this stuff, like, you know, Cameron's mastering it and all this stuff. And so I think about like, oh, we're kind of running out of time, but then it's also, well, shit, like it is 3 months or 4 months out. And so maybe we do have time. It's such a weird, time is a funny thing now. I feel like COVID completely fucked my interpretation of time.
That's what everybody says. You know, we all say COVID fucked my
just-
time up.
It fucked the whole world up.
Yeah, it's like I was at work yesterday, and I walk in, and there's a manager there. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, the schedule." I'm like, "No, the schedule said so and so's work." He's like, "No." So we go in the office and look at the schedule, and he's supposed to work next week on Tuesday. And I'm like, "Dude, don't be taking my weeks away from me, man. I need all the time I can have." You know,
Everything's moving so fast, and it's hard to keep up with your own fucking life sometimes.
Well, I swear it was just fucking January, you know, like I was saying, I was just in the Bay in March, and I'm like, I felt like it was yesterday. I was just there, you know, it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
But, so I got some questions to ask you guys. I asked most of the people, you know what I'm saying? You guys, and I'll let you know, you guys can, since there's 2 of you, y'all can both answer.
Okay.
So if Halibut Head was a cartoon, what would each band member's characters be?
Ooh.
Okay. I bring this energy at least when I'm on stage. I feel like I'm like Ed just 2-letter Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
I think that kind of sums up the whole band. I think you are just Ed and Eddie.
Honestly, yeah, you're not bad.
I think that was pretty perfect. Yeah.
All right.
You got double D.
That's
Damn sure.
yeah. Kane, I think sometimes could be the dog from fucking the scared dog from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
He can do that sometimes. He gives me that energy.
Absolutely.
And then we're the old dude and old woman owners.
Yes.
Oh
shit.
If Halibut Head had a mascot, what would it be?
The fish.
The fish.
I think we kind of do have the mascot. It's this fish, the smoking fish, but also Quarter Bob. Quarter Bob is his own mascot in his own right. He's an actual person that exists. But we have another illustration. Oh yeah, I have a guitar pick here.
Yeah, I was looking for one of the picks.
It's Quarter Bob in his really low beanie, thinking about 25 cents, thinking about his quarters. So yeah, Quarter Bob and the fish are our mascots.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought you were gonna pull up the fish that singing fish. The bass.
We have thought about merch ideas for that, the singing bass, but it's a bass, so we have to figure out how to do a halibut.
I'm sure they have halibuts. You know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's definitely an idea for sure.
Is it if your band was a fast food combo meal, what's in the bag?
Ooh.
What I normally tell people when they like, I always go,
all right,
there's 3 people in the band. What would each person be?
Yeah.
So let's go with like the Cane's box combo, for example. Okay.
You
get 4 nice pieces of chicken. You get the crinkle cut from the crinkle cut fries.
Yeah.
You get the coleslaw and you get the toast. Now, personally, I'm no slaw extra toast.
No slaw extra toast.
Okay.
Yeah, no slaw, no room for slaw in the band.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd call Kano the old toast for damn sure. I love that toast with all my might. Yeah. It's buttery. It's perfect. It's like it matches his.
We eat a lot of burritos though.
Yeah. See, that's
right. I think we could just be a California burrito.
Good old California.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, like you have your meat, and then you have your fries, and then you have like your fixins.
So that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll roll with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be from the Bay and not like fucking burritos. You know
right?
what I'm saying? Because that's like
I eat too many
staple. Yeah. Every time I go back home, I got my certain spots that I have to eat at before I come back to Tennessee, because I won't get it for who knows how long, and I will eat my ass off when I'm there, and then I come back to Tennessee and I'm just like, I'm not eating all fucking week because I got to lose this weight that I just gained. You know?
Yeah.
Let me see here. All right. You guys tour, whatever, you guys play shows out of area. What's your gas station drink and snack of choice?
Ooh.
Well, let's see. On the last tour, every stop, I think I would usually just get. I don't think I was drinking caffeine at that time. So I wasn't grabbing a coffee or a Monster. I think I was boring. I was just grabbing water.
You were grabbing those large water bottles.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Just a shit ton of water.
Yeah.
And probably like some obscure Chex Mix. Yeah. Like the spicy one or the bold one or one of those.
See, like I'm like ranch corn nuts all the way. Got to get the ranch.
Hell
corn nuts.
Yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah, definitely quite a bit of corn nuts. Maybe like the turtle Chex Mix because gotta mix it up a little bit.
Chocolate, right?
If I'm getting the turtle, like the chocolate turtle Chex Mix, I got to get the Muddy Buddies with it and combine the 2 bags together.
Oh, nice. So, okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. And then there's one other thing I keep forgetting about. Like, I'll get something else that like sustains me. Of course, like some caffeine. Like I'm a big Red Bull guy.
Yeah, and they were just kind of drinking Modelo's in the back too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was like
that was sustaining
mainly,
itself.
Yeah.
That was always my choice when I was drinking. It's always Modelo and a bag of chips, some sort of bag of chips. Like I like to find like the random limited edition chips, what I'm saying? Try something different, But for now it's like it's either the White Monster or the Fruit Punch Monster is the other one I go with.
I remember.
Yes.
Go
ahead.
Kane had the freaking Trader Joe's Takis.
Oh yeah.
Those are the best. If you haven't had the Trader Joe's version of like Takis, you're
okay.
extraordinarily.
They're like a little bit
Yeah.
thicker of a corn chip, and they're like just
the powder's better.
they're a little bit less
Yeah.
like
Oh, wow.
and less like just like I don't know what they almost feel like when you compare like a regular bag of Lay's to like the baked Lay's that they would do, they sort of feel like that, but they're still just scrumptious.
Yeah.
Have you seen where Wendy's has the Taki menu right now, where it's like a chicken breast, but it's coated into Taki. It's fried and deep fried with a Taki on it.
Texas, right?
They got Taki dusted fries.
Wow.
They got a few other Taki different items there, but yeah, it's like a limited. I think it's only for the month of July or something.
Okay.
I haven't seen Wendy's with that around here.
I haven't seen that, but that would absolutely kill my stomach. That's wow.
I think I'll stick to my Doritos Locos Tacos.
Yeah.
Not Taco Bell. No. Does Del Taco have any cool combo shit like that?
Of course.
Del Taco is pretty good up here.
Yeah.
But I like getting Jack in the Box tacos though. Like,
dude, those fucking tacos are phenomenal.
If
I
I'm
don't
gonna
care.
do like fast food tacos, I'll skip Taco Bell. I've actually recently sort of like given Del Taco a chance. I just for some reason I never went to Del Taco until like Cameron goes to Del Taco all the time, so he's always pushing that.
They got good fish tacos actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have had their like fried fish taco, but the Jack in the Box tacos are,
bruh. They've been the same since when I was a kid in the 80s. They haven't changed. They still fucking just as greasy.
Like a sourdough Jack in the taco. Oh my god. Dude.
Yes, sir.
Jesus.
At any time of day.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Jack in the Box right there.
But doesn't Jack in the Box, or do they still have the Snoop Dogg meal?
The Munchie meal or
The
whatever.
Munchie meal?
I don't know if it's Snoop Dogg right now though, but it's some like it's always like a hip hop.
They do have a
artist
box
doing
deal.
Yeah.
And it's hella cheap too, though. You know?
Is it T-Pain?
I think it's T-Pain
I love
box
T-Pain.
combo. Yeah.
Wait, when you eat it, do you sound auto-tuned afterwards?
Auto-tune, yeah. Auto-tune fries. That's sick.
That's what you get as like a toy. You get the auto-tune mic, you know?
Disappointed that I know that much about the Jack in the Box menu right now. So I'm just constantly.
Every time you eat a fry, you have to yell, "Okay!"
Not the Little John.
Oh, that's Little John, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get roasted for that one.
All right, Chase.
What's up?
If you were to fill in for one band for a summer tour, who would it be?
Oh, fucking Checked Out, dude. 100%. I love them so much. Like, or Toxic Waves. Like, I'm just thinking about like local bands right now because like I feel like you could like always dream big, but man, like if Toxic Waves needed me to fill in for like Jonah, who seems to like seem to be busy, man, 100% I'm down.
Yeah, those are good guys.
Yeah.
They're on the comp record too.
What about you, Dame?
You know what? Dirty Nil needed a bass player for a brief period. They have a new one on tour right now, but when that bass spot opened, we all sort of considered like, I can go on tour with the Nil right now.
It's like too bad I don't live in Canada.
The Dirty Nil is a band I've recently gotten into because of Cameron, and I actually get to play with them on next Tuesday. Ada Lemon is opening up for the Dirty Nil and Heart Attack Man. That's gonna
be the show that's been moved around?
Yeah. It was gonna be at a Goldfield Roseville location, which is like a 500 cap room. They just moved it to the Goldfield Midtown Sacramento location, which is closer to me, which is sick. But that's only like maybe 250 cap, if that. So I mean, honestly, I'd rather play to a packed room than a giant hallway anyway. So that'll be fun. But yeah, the Dirty Nil, if I can fill in for the Dirty Nil on a tour, they tour so much and they just look like a fun rock and roll band to be a part of. So
hell yeah, I'll check them. I try to check out every time somebody that I've interviewed and they post a flyer. I'll try to check out those other bands to see what other stuff's out there.
Yeah.
What's that new venue that just opened up in Sac?
It's called Channel 24.
Oh,
it's actually I can throw a rock at it from my front door. They are
it's pretty cool.
They're right there. I've heard good things. I haven't been yet. I have experienced shitty parking because of it. I can't park on my own street a lot of the time when fucking Jack White is there for 2 nights sold out. But I know a lot of people that have made it. Chase has gone to a Social Distortion show there.
Yeah, I saw a Social Distortion there. That shit was phenomenal.
Dude.
I forget the name of the band that opened up for them, but it was this guy, Henry Cash, who's in this other band called Starcrawler, who's in that. Plague Vendor. That's the name of that band. They were fucking sick too. Very like old school pub rock kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
Charismatic frontman. But I will say, I parked at Ace of Spades and walked 20 blocks to Channel
Which is
24.
funny because I
That
live.
place is still there.
Oh yeah, I worked there.
It's still around. Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but
And
yeah,
then what's the other?
we just literally
Bullet?
parked where we work and walked to my apartment essentially.
Yeah.
When he could have just been like, "Give me your parking pass. I'll park in front of your fucking spot."
No.
Social D is always a great band to see live, man. They're always so fun, you know. And then Mike just still. I'm glad he got he didn't lose his voice after that whole issue, you know.
Yeah,
They were phenomenal.
What's the other venue up there? Broadway or Boardwalk?
there is the boardwalk.
That place is funky.
The boardwalk does exist. I've been there once to watch my fiance's band play, and I'll speak kindly.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason to go at the current moment.
Gotcha. You wanna shout out your fiance's band?
No. She actually just left the band.
Oh, okay.
And then but I think she's putting together another project right now. So she's playing and she's jamming. She actually jams here too. Which is
what kind of music is it?
Sort of like Riot Girl,
Okay,
punk rock, a little bit softer though. She loves Bikini Kill, but they aren't.
Fuck yeah.
You know, the people she's jamming with right now, they are I'd say like just a solid like rock quartet happening right now. So she's now singing in the next project. So she was in one project playing bass only, and then she started doing some background singing, and then now in this new project she's working on, she's gonna be the lead vocalist and bass player, which is really cool. So
I
think they're still working on the name, but
I switched. I played bass for many years, and then I switched to vocals, and I'm like, man, this is so much radder because I don't have to carry shit to practice. I help load in. I'm not that asshole singer where I'm like, nah, you guys can carry your own shit. No, I help out, but
5 minutes before we go on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey man, y'all just text me like 30 minutes before we go on, and I'll head that way.
Give me time to grab a beer, and I'll be up there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, that's cool. No, we had mentioned earlier when we were talking about Bay Area bands, and you had mentioned Pansy Division, and I had seen them one time here in Nashville in like the 90s, and I had no idea. I knew of them, I knew their music, but I'd never seen them live, and I only read like the articles in like Alternative Press or Spin Magazine, and when I went, what they said in the magazine is exactly how they were on stage, and I was like, wow, they were good though, because that's like I was like everything Lookout back in the 90s. Anything that was on Lookout Records I was fucking with,
Yeah.
You know what's hecka funny though? The other day I was at the local used record store, and I found this great like Lookout Records compilation, like volume 3, made in Berkeley and all that fun stuff. It said it was like 2003 or 4 or some shit like that. I texted him a photo of it, and then like an hour later he gets back to me. He's like, no, there's Adelaide Street. It was Lookout Records weren't very good, man.
Yeah, it was. I think Larry had already left at that point or something like that. So it was the Lookout Records when they were at the Adeline Street location, and it's just
like
a bunch of
fucking nerd.
Just a bunch of bands on there that I don't even care about and all that. I like
the
collecting.
Queers were on there, okay?
Oh yeah, I like the Queers, but they I collect all of the Larry Livermore era stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, with all the old Green Day and all that stuff.
Shows how much I know about that whole fucking scene.
Yeah. Anything that's got the Laytonville Lookout address on there, that's the holy grail, So
yeah, that's how it used to be. You pick up a record, turn it over, you're like, oh fuck, Epitaph, I guess I'll get that. Oh fuck, Lookout, I guess I'll get that. Fat Records, obviously everything Fat. Didn't Fat just sell their catalog to Hopeless?
I think so. I think they've officially announced that merger or transition thing. I don't really follow much of that.
I just saw like a headline somewhere. I didn't read it all, but I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I think they Hopeless Records or whatever. I think they officially have the catalog now. But what's interesting about that is a band that I really enjoy, The Last Gang. They're on Fat Records, and I think though they're still using like the Fat Records like logo and name for all their stuff that they're doing right now. So I'm confused about it all. I don't know what Fat Mike is doing and what the thing, who's running what and where it is now. I just go to the shows and listen to the music, but
I know one NoFX song.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
Linoleum.
Oh,
The NoFX song.
Well, let me ask you then, Dane, what's your favorite NoFX album?
Ooh, favorite NoFX album. Well, I guess it would have to be Punk and Drublick.
Yeah.
I think there are more songs on that record that I enjoy than I think. I like Sticking in My Eyes, my favorite NoFX song like of all time. But I don't think I enjoy that entire record that it's on.
Yeah.
So
Ribbed.
I'll choose the easy. Ribbed. Yeah.
Ribbed is my favorite album.
Is it? I have the little NoFX condom. From the last shows. It was one of those souvenirs or merch items. But yeah, I'll pick the easy route. I'll say Punk and Drublick's my favorite.
I mean, that's a great record. That album got so many people into fucking NoFX.
It's the only one I actually own, so I guess I have to.
You said The Last Gang. I actually interviewed Brianna's I guess husband, boyfriend.
He's in a cool band too.
Yeah, Empire. They're really fucking rad.
Right on. Yeah, we've been trying to do a show with them for a long time. I kind of made friends with them. They opened up for Me First and the Gimme Gimmes at Ace one year for their Christmas show. And then I actually don't even know really how I came across them originally, but then I met them and talked to them at that show. And they come to Sacramento, like multiple times a year. They're always playing like Goldfield or Cafe Colonial. And I've been trying to get on a show with them for a while. And some other promoters and stuff that they're working with or whoever's booking the tour kind of blocks that whole local opener thing, but they're awesome. They're good people.
Them and Empire and Hartwell's always touring together. It's a cool band. Hartwell's are really rad. There's a lot of cool bands in Cal. I mean, it's crazy. But Nashville, there's a lot of rad bands too. There's a homie. He got a band called the Graveyard Kids, and they're super rad. Kind of like. I don't even know how to describe them. I'll send you a link. They're pretty rad. You guys would like them. They're going to start touring here, and they're going to try to come out to the West. So, anywho,
yeah. Sounds
is there anything else you guys want to plug?
Well, I was going to ask you this earlier. You want to mention the beef?
No.
Okay.
I want to hold on. I'm going
to try to start shit.
Hey, when we get done with this, I want to hear that. So
okay. Yeah. We can save that one for off the record because we have not gone on the offense with that one, so I don't want to start talking about it, if it's not asked. But but no, a couple songs coming out this year and a couple shows happening, and we're just doing the local Sacramento band thing. There's a lot of cool stuff happening with a bunch of bands around here, and these shows are really, really fun, and bands are really, really good. And it's just one of those things that, if you've got your ear to it, you're into it, but a lot of people don't, for some reason, have their ear into it. And I'm still hopeful for the shift in local live music. Seems that, people don't want to go to the big shows anymore because Ticketmaster is just taking everything that is your worth to go to a show. So, we are kind of seeing a little bit of that, like celebration of the bands in your area, which is always sick. And, I think there's room for a lot more of it. And we are just trying our best to be a part of it in Sacramento. So
always support your local scene, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Last question. And this, I say last question because it's a good way to go out. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
That's a hot take. You said that so fast.
It's true.
But it is the correct answer. Hot dog is a sandwich. Yes.
I appreciate it, guys.
Between two pieces of bread is a sandwich.
Yeah.
So
I can go to Dad's Sandwiches right here in Sacramento and get a hot dog on the same menu as a sandwich.
Yeah.
But if you were going to say, I'm going to go home and make a sandwich, would you make a hot dog?
I
Possibly.
sometimes make hot dog sandwiches.
Ooh.
But now if you're calling them a hot dog sandwich, that
Okay.
So where does a musubi, like a spam musubi, lie in that equation? Because that's like a whole different like ball game of like
spam
wrapped.
musubi is
that would be sushi because it's in seaweed.
Yeah, it's sushi.
There's no
It's
raw
sushi
fish.
because
No, but it's wrapped in seaweed. rolls.
I want to say this though. That's the third time today that I've heard that food been talked about.
Musubi?
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
that's your you have good Hawaiian barbecue in Tennessee or Nashville?
We got one location. And it's only open for a short period of time during the day. But when you can find it open, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm actually in Clarksville, which is 45 minutes north of Nashville on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. There's a military base here. So
yeah, right on.
So, all right. Well, hot dog's a sandwich from the heads.
You're here first.
Yes.
From the heads.
Now, later, guys.
Cool. Thanks, Russ.